Well,
What's wrong with it? There's
Right.
nothing wrong with chivalry, but don't expect
I'm
a horse.
just
Yeah.
just got
Right,
married.
right. Yeah,
Kick the horse.
well,
right.
Kick the horse.
well.
Yeah.
I can only partially agree with the statement that you made. Past dating and past expectations were something that women didn't have because women were to be chosen and not to be a chooser. So in the past, I think the women, they had to wait for that guy to come up on a horse. That's what they had to wait for. Now, if you ain't coming up on a Jag or Benz or something like that, you ain't getting no talk.
That's not true.
Come on,
That's
come
not
on.
If
true.
your bank account don't say something,
That's not
if your
true.
bank account don't have a couple of commas in it, come on now.
No.
Exactly.
What your house look like? Where you work?
No.
What you do?
Real women don't ask that,
Oh,
nor do
come
they care
on,
about
come
that.
on.
No.
Could go up.
Come on, come
No.
on. What woman you dated
Lord.
lately?
Bring me.
You want to know that? What woman you dated lately? Man, come on now.
So, do you have a horse or no? That's the question.
I ain't gonna tell. 'Cause
Okay,
somebody might
exactly.
want to know where my horse is stored.
No, no,
Wow.
no.
Okay, but listen. So I just want to know, honestly. Now, guys, just for a minute,
Okay.
think about what she's really saying. And y'all know the game has changed.
Yes, it
The
is.
game
So
has
let's not
changed.
pretend, because we're trying to help somebody. Remember.
Yes.
So
There's nothing wrong.
let's
There's nothing
just
wrong
think
with a
about
little
your
chivalry.
teenage daughter.
Oh.
Let's think from that perspective.
Okay.
Niece, whatever. The guys nowadays, if you were going to talk to her and tell her to beware or to watch out for certain things, or this is what you should expect, talk to us about that. What
Well,
are
I
the
would say this.
expectations?
I would say
Father,
this.
what
I
are
would
you
say. I
expecting
would
to
say
see?
this. I know if the wrong knucklehead come up to my daughter,
Say that word, knucklehead.
it's gonna be an issue,
It's gonna
and it's not coming from me. It's coming from her. Out the gate.
Oh, because of the way you have raised her.
It's just
Her
the way.
expectations.
It's just the way that the men around her reacts and treat females. So I know that for a fact. And yeah, I'm scared. I'm more scared of her than he is, because simple fact she might.
So you scared for him.
Yeah.
Because of her expectations.
Yeah. I mean, because she understands one thing, how she's supposed to be treated.
Okay, and I love that. That is what we need. We definitely need fathers to train the daughters.
Right. And I got that.
What they
But-
should
Well, I
expect
got a daughter of marrying age, and I told her, I said, first of all, you got to find somebody that's going to treat you right. That's the first thing. Somebody that's going to respect you, and I'm with E on that. Any knucklehead, I mean, you can get a knucklehead if you want to, but you know what a knucklehead is not. And I presented that example of not to be a knucklehead. I'm not saying he has to take care of your every needs, but y'all support each other. You want somebody that's going to support you and that you can support and that y'all can get along. But you don't want nobody hitting on you. You don't want nobody disrespecting you. And I said, if you get that, that's your choice.
Okay, so back in the day, you two, were you the man that you would want your daughter to date today?
Of course.
you pick the cup up.
Of course.
I need a shot of yak now.
Have you met me?
I know.
Have you? Your mother would have tried to marry you off to me if she met me.
Out the gate.
Out the gate.
Okay, so I know y'all bragging those things, but I really want to help the community here.
Honestly,
I have this question. So let's just deal with. Okay, see, you can address this.
Yes, ma'am.
So a young man today,
Yes, ma'am.
you're talking about as long as he treat her right.
Yes.
I'm talking about before he make it to that point where she realizes how he's going to
Right.
treat her.
Well,
What is the approach a man should take today?
Well, and sad, and Miss Jill did make a point. I don't think they have that personal approach anymore. Now people are meeting online on dating apps. I don't think they have that personal approach. So it's really hard today to say how to do that approach because I send you an inbox. We on a date, in 2 days, or we in a
real.
relationship.
Right, and men
He
think
in a
you're in a whole relationship after
Some-
12 hours of talking
some
back and
women
forth.
do too.
No,
Some
that's
women do
female.
too. But what
That's
I'm
all
saying is,
females.
We got the Steve Harvey book.
yeah,
Things like
but
that.
but the
Man.
problem is, the problem is you don't have that in a person, so you're not gonna know anybody in enough time. And so, unfortunately, the young people they get in relationships. I talked to this girl one time. I actually wrote a song for her, and it was called "To Be Honest" because she met her baby's father on Facebook on a "To Be Honest" question. So I mean, that's how she said they met one day. He inboxed her on a "to be honest" question, and the next day they were dating.
And people do meet on Facebook or social media. I mean, it's just another way to meet people. But social media and all the technology takes out the need for the courtship. Period. I mean, it takes all of that away because you're communicating electronically right there.
Yeah, and the problem I have with that, crazy don't show up till 6 months later.
Correct.
So I can't Facebook you for 6 months.
Yeah.
If the horse would show up right away, maybe the crazy would never come out. Anyways.
Okay, I want to step away from the men for a second.
Okay,
Because,
thank
you know,
you.
when I listen to some of the music today, it sounds like the expectations some of the ladies have in these songs. I mean, it's real scary. And so Jill, because you brought up the horse and the flowers, etc., and the knight, the shining armor coming to get you, what are your expectations?
Well, since you bring that up, first of all, I just want to make very clear that I do not want anybody showing up at my house with a horse. That was just a figure of speech. It's not something that's real. Really, men or women, a lot of people end up heartbroken because of their expectations, period. It has nothing to do with the person that we're looking for. It has to do with the things we are looking for in that person. And, the media, social media, comparing our relationships to our friends, things like that, that has done a lot to our expectations.
parents.
Yeah, or our lack of expectations.
Well,
yeah.
Now that can go a whole different direction right
whole-
there. But when we say comparing, I agree with you because I tell you what, the way my father treated my mom, I have to admit that I was expecting that.
Right,
I
right,
didn't get that
No.
right.
because back then my dad coming home, he putting the check, the money in her hand. You do what you need to do, make ends meet, make things happen, give me a few dollars, and it's a wrap. Nowadays, if you're looking for that, you might have some trouble.
Right.
So a whole lot of things have changed. So when we start comparing relationships, we have to be careful.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem with the expectation because he got to be 6 foot. He got to, have a master's degree. He got to have all it. And the same with men. She got to be certain height or a certain weight, a certain look.
From that physical
Yeah,
perspective.
and I think a lot of it now has been jaded by the commercialism of love. We draw this beautiful commercial picture of love or what love should be, and it's really
Right.
not that. It's just make believe.
Right. And a lot of times I think that we are asking for things from the wrong people. We are asking for things, we set expectations and we put those on people that will never be able to give us those things. Something I bring up all the time is, are you willing to be the person that you're looking for? If you
I'm just
expect
gonna
all
ask
of
her that
these
same
things,
question.
if you
Oh,
expect
my
all of these
goodness.
things from a partner, are you all of
Are
those
you?
things?
That's exactly right. And a lot of times you're waiting for the husband to show up, but you're not wife material.
Right, right.
Because you still wearing booty shorts and posting on Facebook, but you're looking for a husband.
Looking for a husband.
But they're in love. I mean, I got all this. No, you don't. Look at you.
Yes.
Look at you.
Right.
I mean, the question of the nowadays is, my question is, look at you.
I absolutely agree.
Look at yourself. Would you want your son to date you?
Yeah.
Right, right. To
I
bring
mean,
you
I'm just-
home.
honestly.
So
Yeah.
then instead of the horse showing up, the donkey shows up. It's two completely different.
But see,
Oh, man.
like,
Completely
Really,
different
really,
things.
you on the
I mean,
road
it's
tonight.
one of those
Let's
situations
move
I
on.
look-
Let's move on.
I look at it like this.
Move past the donkey. The donkey is relevant these days.
I look at it like this. When my daughter get to that age, I want her to bring me home. And when I say bring me home, I'm a nice dude. I'm cool. I'm laid back. But, I give her that example of who I am. What
You're
kind of man-
setting those expectations.
I'm setting the expectations, and hopefully she can find somebody that fits. I'm not perfect by all means.
But that's huge because, like V said, my parents have been together since they were 12 years old, lived across the street from each other. That's the kind of love that I have witnessed.
That's me.
the kind
That's
of
me
treatment
right there.
that
Yeah.
I have seen.
So
That
that's-
is what I expect. That is what I expect.
That's who I am.
That,
you
I'm,
wear
I'm not
white-
going to waver from that.
Can you wear white?
Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
So I mean, because we can definitely stay on
Yeah.
expectations and those different things. But what type of stigmas do you see attached to that? And I think, Clarence, you kind of mentioned it with different things that you have already spoke about.
Yes.
Like,
And again,
your
this.
expectations
Yeah.
may be too
Well, the
high.
stigma is also that we want things that don't exist anymore. And the chivalry is one of them. You can't, I'm not saying you can't find, but it'd be hard pressed to find a young man that's going to open the door for a lady, that's going to, actually go, in the times that you were talking, go meet a father and say, I want to talk to your daughter. I want to, those things don't
But
exist
why
anymore.
not? Why not?
Because we don't teach those things anymore. Those things are not brought into children anymore. So it's real hard to now things is that, as fast as the fashion changes, that's how their relationship changes. They got to keep moving. What's the new hottest thing? Is the new hottest thing they got to be in a relationship. So I think they don't put the practice, they don't put the time in. It's once you don't meet my visual,
Yep.
then and I think the stigma is a lot of visual and a lot of commercial. And once you don't meet what I'm supposed to see, I no longer have a purpose for you.
And you know what that causes? It causes the female or the other person to feel like they're not good enough.
They're not good
Yes.
enough. Exactly. Because
Yes.
they're trying to live up to something that is impossible to live up to, male
That's why
or
you have
female.
All these women getting all these different surgeries, plastic surgeries, and
Yes.
different things. I mean,
Yeah.
flying out of the state to satisfy or to compete so that they don't become a doll on the shelf.
Right. And there's another stigma is, because on my driver's license, I'm not gonna lie, it might say that I'm 6'11". It might say that. It might say that. I looked at if you look at the right angle. I looked at it if you look at the right angle. But think about it.
No.
I mean, y'all were always told the tall, dark, and handsome.
There we go. What's wrong with that?
Dude, you only 3 inches taller than me, so you ain't gonna go there. But
I'm tall, I'm dark, and I'm handsome. What's
So
wrong?
when you don't hit that tall, dark, and handsome, men have that thing too, where men that are kind, you too soft.
I mean, you know something? I honestly, female have told me that.
I've told
I've been
someone
told
that
that.
you're too
And it's
nice.
crazy.
You're too soft.
I've
You're
said
too
that.
nice.
Y'all,
I've
y'all,
said
y'all
that.
talking about y'all want chivalry, and I'm nice.
Or a good man.
Or a good
for
man.
real.
Or, oh, you too nice. You don't.
Yeah.
What's the point
But
of
you
getting
bring
an
up a
argument?
good point. We want chivalry, but women, we only want chivalry from certain people. I, as a woman, I don't want to be pursued. If I'm interested, I will come pursue you. I will grab my horse.
You
and
ain't
I
read
will
the
come
Bible,
to
have
you.
you? You ain't read the Bible, have you?
So women,
You just you on another page, and that's fine, honey, because everybody's different.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I'm definitely not pursuing.
yeah, I don't
The way
want.
I was raised.
I don't want to be pursued. And what I mean by that is I don't want to be approached by people that I'm not interested in.
How do you know
How
you're
you
not
know you're
interested?
Because I already know.
How? They haven't said anything to
Hold on,
you.
it's just what you said.
visually looking at
The
somebody.
visual, yep, the
Right.
visual.
But the physical attraction, we'd be lying if we said that initially was not important.
You never know what you will get when a
You
person
don't.
approaches.
You don't. But I mean, people that are physically attractive are not always going to be good people for
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
But that is initially what draws us to a person. When you're walking down the street, you don't know their personality, you don't know their morals, you don't know anything about them other than what they look like. And you'd be lying if you said you didn't turn the other way and you know nothing about that woman. So initially, physical
I mean,
attraction is huge.
I disagree.
The idea is to get to know that person.
Absolutely.
So if a person approach you and you like, well, I'm not. You never know. That could have been the man that God sent to you.
It could have been,
But you don't give it a chance because the simple fact, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Have you ever heard that a man is moved by what he sees, and a woman is moved by what she hears?
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Well, she don't give him a chance to hear nothing.
But
so
I think
how can she be
everything
moved?
is visual now because of
I'm
the
just saying.
videos, the commercials, everything. Everything is visual now. And as Jill say, if it does not look like I want it to look,
Idris.
it's yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being
But
honest.
I think I look a little
I
bit
am
better
just being
than Aegis
absolutely
most days.
His wife gonna throw some.
Well, we've all met beautiful people that we can't have a conversation with, that we
Why not?
can't vibe with, because their physical attraction enough is not enough. We need more. But initially, that draws people in.
But the physical attractions get you baby daddies more than it gets you husbands.
True.
Let's be honest.
Correct.
It'll get you a baby daddy faster than it
But
gets you
there
a
are a
husband.
lot of baby daddies who are not physically attractive.
Well, I'm being real.
You got a nice smile. Bless your heart. Lord have mercy.
Listen, so I just want to ask this question: have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? Like you actually saw someone, you were interested in them, but even if they approached you, you just didn't feel like you were good enough, whether it was
Yes.
physical or whatever level.
Yes.
So in other words, they were out of your league.
Yes.
I think
You know something?
Yet they were attracted to you.
right,
Well,
right.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you. It's one thing I learned. My cousin taught me this. I'm gonna talk about one of the things that happened to me in the club one night. I seen a female. I'm like, man, and know what he said? She could only give you two answers, yes or no. She said yes, you good. She say no, you good. So what's the problem?
What you got to lose?
What you got to lose?
Well,
And that's the best advice I ever, when it comes to trying to approach a female. I don't care how good she look. Hey, she can only tell me yes or no. So hey,
Right.
let's go.
Right, but self-esteem matters.
yes.
That's why it's called self-esteem.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, so if you don't feel like you're good enough,
Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
nah.
that is the reason why I believe there's a lot of people
Yep.
that are still single.
Yes.
And I'm
yes.
glad you said that because I am going to. There are a lot of people, like you said, when you meet someone and we don't feel like we're good enough, so much of that has nothing to do with that person and everything to do with this person. And that's why so many people are getting into relationships or any kind of ships, knowing that they're not even sailing their ship correctly.
I don't want to be
themselves.
in a relationship because the Titanic sank.
Always trying to go into comedy.
Well, that's how we end up in bad relationships too, because everything that we lack on the inside, we go looking for in other people.
So, and I agree with you with that. But what about age? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, age is just a number."
Oh, age.
But then now, I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Like, what's too old?
What's too old? What's too young? Well, first of all, I'm not gonna be interested in dating my daughter's age. I actually.
Esther was 85 and married a 25-year-old.
Well, and see here. Well, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I really do, and one is I'm not gonna have anything in common with a 20-year-old right now. I mean, we're not going to be able to talk
And that's
about
the
anything.
biggest
Life
thing,
experience is not going to be
Honey,
equal.
when you're in love, you don't need
I'm not-
things in common.
You don't need nothing in common.
Haven't you heard of the power?
The power,
Power?
the power of love.
Yes, but
Well,
the
then Tina did say, what does love,
love got to do with it.
Right.
My point
But,
is
but
that
here's and when you talk about the power of love, and here's a big problem, and I can say this for men in general. A lot of times we're not taught properly how to love. So what we're looking for is nothing that we know about. We are taught to protect, to provide,
yes.
and do that. Love, it never say love her. It says take care of her. Yeah. Take care, procreate, provide, and protect. That's what we're taught to do. We're not taught to love.
the 3 P's,
That's it.
down with OPP.
That's it. Now that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother situation.
That's a whole nother conversation we'll talk about later.
Yeah, you don't know.
But if you're saying that you were some people weren't taught to love, let's say by their parents or their family, you're saying love is teachable. So even a person who isn't taught to love, it's still inside of you. And if it's teachable, it's going to be teachable by this
love
person
is
you
a
date,
choice.
this person that you date. So if it can be taught, it can be taught in any aspect.
It can be taught and it can be learned, but most often it's not, because we find women look for, and I'm going to say this, and I think it's still a throwback. Women think the with men,
don't throw us
we
in the
look
box.
for somebody we can take care of them, that, and women look to be take care of. I think that's still a thought. I believe that is, and they think that's love, which is not love. Love has nothing to do with what I can give you, what I can provide for you. That has nothing to do with
But that's
love.
your version of love. A lot of people have different versions of love.
What's a different version of love?
Well, there are a lot
listening.
of like we've talked about a lot of them. Like she said, love is power.
Love is power.
You know, love is kindness. But not every
Neil said that a long time
love
ago.
is
Now,
power.
what the
Love
power
is
of
kind.
love?
Love is
Right.
kind.
Yeah,
What is
the
that?
power,
I mean,
respect the power
I
of
look
love.
at-
Think of that. What does that mean to you?
I'm just trying to. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking y'all.
The power comes when it's true
Honesty.
love. It's honest. It's true. It's unconditional.
Loyal.
It doesn't have any. It's loyal. It's just that. It's just love. And love covers. And I understand that love covers a multitude of sin. That means that if I truly love you, I will do anything for you, and we can get through anything. But
And guess what? One of the big things, especially dealing with relationships, forgiveness. Because too many times
That's
people-
love right there.
that's love.
Yeah,
That's love right
absolutely.
there.
It takes love to
See,
forgive.
that's what I was looking for.
Right
That's
there.
love right there. If you could forgive somebody
and keep count.
and keep it moving,
Yes.
that's love.
So
Now
you
I
can't
could.
bring it back up.
Don't bring it back
The
up
big time.
because we moved on. Now that's true love. Now you don't get that anymore because
I'm not saying you don't get it anymore,
Man,
but it.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna say from my
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
You need to shop at a different store then.
I did. I burnt that store down.
Your
But the thing about it is, don't bring it back up. Things been brought up, and it happens on the male side too.
We're gonna bring it back up.
I forgive you, baby. We gonna. But then as soon as that next argument, remember when you did this?
On October 8th, 2001.
Yeah. But see, y'all got the dates.
We do.
Men don't
do.
even remember the dates.
Right.
We just, hey, you did this.
And that's what has led a lot of people to divorce court.
Yes.
Yes.
34% of all
Sad to say, but
marriages.
just not forgiving,
Yes.
not choosing to let it go.
Right.
And with not forgiving, if you did it to me, I must get it back on
right,
you.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Couples like
Too
that.
right.
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
You know.
yep.
He cheated, so she cheated.
Yes.
And it just keeps
Yes.
No,
going.
two rights don't make it
Yeah.
wrong, but it makes it even.
No, it doesn't make it even. It makes it a whole lot worse.
Well, when we forgive in any aspect, we don't forgive for that person. We forgive for ourselves. And what a miserable place if you are holding that grudge every single day, carrying that weight. You're not only going to carry that into your relationship, you're going to carry that into every single thing that you do.
Yeah.
Especially
Including your
relate
health.
all of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, today things are a little different, and I just want to touch on this real quick. Social media. Now we're here, and I know you kind of mentioned it briefly.
Right.
But social media can get people in a lot of trouble. And
Yes.
here, this faithful man,
Right.
married man or single, and he's enjoying his relationship, and all of a sudden, it shows up the donkey on
The donkey.
Facebook or
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
etc.
Here,
I think those are just
Next
miserable
thing you
people.
know,
Yeah.
They're just miserable. That
Well,
person
it
just-
leads
you
to.
know, come
Well-
on, your high school people connecting with you.
Well, I mean,
Here are
you talking about people that?
1985 and people still trying to
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about the the
No,
ones
I'm
that
just
try to throw
saying,
shade in your
you're moving
relationship.
through, time has passed. People will contact you
Out of the
and
blue.
try to- right.
Out of the
You know
blue.
what?
Or start something
No,
that was never there.
that's if you in love and you with that one person that you're supposed to be
And then
with.
what do you do?
You
What do you
hey, I'm in a relationship. There's no time to entertain that. Period.
I'd agree with that.
So
Right.
I mean, if you in a relationship and you hey, this is my woman, and Susie from the 11th grade come back and she's looking good and want to talk to you, hey, this is what we need to do. Me, you, my wife, and your boyfriend, we could all go out.
Right.
Right.
If we all can't go out, we don't have no conversation. It's just that simple.
Wow.
No, but it sounded right.
That's somebody.
It sounded
That's
good.
somebody.
Wait a minute,
time
let
out.
him go with that
Dad,
one. It sounded
Did you
good.
throw me under the bus like that?
It sounded
Dad.
You didn't get it to me. I felt it too.
But I mean,
it
that's
wasn't-
real. If I'm in a relationship and Susie come and like, hey, can we? Hey, me and my girl. Hey, you got your dude. We can all hang out.
Hang out.
But just know, I'm leaving with her. I came with her. I'm leaving with her, and I ain't got nothing else to.
Well,
Nothing
and,
else need to be said.
and with the social media, we're not personable people, so we're not trying to love. We're just trying to find the next person to be with. Cause think about eHarmony, all these dating sites. I mean, they got $1 million commercials
Oh, yeah.
talking about we can find the perfect match for you. I mean,
That's why on
in-
my Facebook page, it clearly says, this is not let'sgetbelieve.com.
yeah. So I
It
mean,
doesn't matter.
See, so you don't want to be pursued either. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
I'm
a
saying- But honey, when I want to date, I want to be pursued. It's
When
just
you
the
wanna
time
date.
is not now.
and social media is a big thing. You know, this is a big argument for me because you can take a good man or a good woman and you can put them anywhere because temptation is life. There's temptation on social media. Social media does not make you cheat. Social media is an excuse for cheating. You take a good person, they're not going to cheat. You take somebody who cheats on social media, they've cheated in other places. It's the truth. It reiterates what you just said. You can put a good man or woman in any situation.
I mean,
You
and
are the right person and you're honest and you love that person for real.
Right, because temptation is in our faces.
That's right. Everywhere you go, grocery store, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Stays in our faces.
so you blaming temptation on
No,
social
But we
media.
can't blame
that's why I
social
walk in the
media.
grocery store like Job. I look at the
And
ground.
you're going to be cheating in the next
Clarence, really?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Make
Yeah,
it plain.
Right,
To be
right.
with you soon. But that when you bring up the music, think about how many songs now are made about cheating.
And that's what majority.
Mrs. Jones,
Me and Mrs. Jones.
We had a
they had a
thing.
thing going on
But-
for a long time.
But I mean, if you listen to today's music,
SZA, the weekend. You can have it every day of the week, but he mine on the
On
That's
weekend.
what
yeah, I mean that's crazy.
that song has
I mean, my question is, whatever happened to the real love songs? I mean, real love songs.
Well, I mean,
They went out with the horse.
Yeah,
Again.
what was that? We used to love them.
and leave them.
Rick James.
Okay.
I mean-
people doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Man, they ain't even loving them and leaving them.
Influencing.
They're staying
They're
with
not
them,
even
loving
loving
them,
them
and
and
finding
leaving them.
someone else.
But love.
You know what? We can talk about a whole lot of good stuff. But we want our people to remember to comment and to share and to leave questions, etc. at all times. Is that right?
Yes, share with your friends, your
like, share.
coworkers. Follow
Holla at
us,
us.
Neutral Voices Network. Follow
gotta
that
feel-
page
I got-
as well.
Got some good questions.
I want somebody to
this
tell
one.
us about their relationships. I want to hear some relationship stories in the comments.
Some
Real one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
only dating
Clarence,
one woman.
only dated one woman.
I only dated one woman in
That's
my
your-
entire
that's your
life.
story?
That's my story.
But we want to hear.
Yeah.
We want to hear from.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead.
we wanna
Tell
hear
us
from
about
you
your horse.
before-
Yeah, tell us about your
But
everything.
before, yeah, see if you had anything else.
No, I'm good. I think that we've covered the gambit of love, and I think our relationships. Yes. All right. We're gonna hear from Jill, and she's gonna read right now and give us a. Let's hear what you got for us, Miss
Okay.
Jill.
Oh Lord.
At the end of the day, regardless of your current relationship status, we are all looking for the same thing, love. Whether we are ready to receive the love we are seeking or ready to receive the love we are trying to give, love is always the ultimate goal. The most important relationship that you will ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. When you love you, you are able to love other people. And until you love you, you will search for all of the missing pieces within yourself and everyone else. Dating is complicated. Finding someone that you can mesh with every single day is difficult. When two people come together and know that they want to grow together, heal together, create an empire together, share their time and companionship together, there's always a good chance at creating a lasting relationship. I heard someone say the other day that love is simply friendship on fire. How true this is. It is the most beautiful thing to fall into, the hardest thing to earn, heart-wrenching to fall out of, and the most painful thing to lose. But it's life. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, you felt it. Love is a friendship that has caught fire. It is a quiet understanding, a mutual confidence, sharing and forgiving. It is loyalty through good and bad of times. It settles for less than perfection and makes allowances for human weaknesses. We are all looking for different things we seek in people. We have different expectations and different rules. But at the end of the day, we all just want a little piece of heaven to set our souls on fire.
Wow.
Hey.
Hey. Well,
Ooh, I wish I could snap both fingers.
we're gonna thank all of you out there for staying with us this long. We hope that we said something to you that love is what you make it. Let's know that love is what you make it. But
Correct.
we thank you for joining us here at Neutral Voices, the place where your voice matters. Follow us, like, click, and share. And we're gonna bid you a good evening, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about love as we go out. But we thank you for being with us, and come back and see us next time.